I just wanted to do a quick video about Phil Elverum of the Microphones in Mount Eerie. I was listening to his latest record, Only Now, and I looked at, I listened to his previous record, the critically acclaimed A Crow Looked at Me, and I am totally blown away by the artistry of these records. Um, I didn't finish Only Now because listening to both in one night's a lot to take in. So I did enjoy A Crow Looked at Me. It was very emotional and powerful. I think that what Phil Elverum did was that he elevated songwriting, he elevated artistry. It's going to be looked upon in history as a watershed moment for songwriting, much in the same way Thriller was by Michael Jackson, or Figure Eight was by Elliott Smith. It's going to definitely be looked upon as a evolving of a art form. It reveals the spoken word power of poetry mixed with sparse acoustics, and as well as some electric songwriting elements that were slightly more sophisticated and melodic on the Only Now album. Unbelievable. The guy's unbelievable. I just read on Pitchfork that he's getting married, or he got married to Michelle Williams from a number of films, A-list actress, which is phenomenal. I think that's a great thing. I'm going to take my glasses off because they're reflecting some light there. So I just wanted to make a quick video about this. I never listened to the Microphones. I am not a Mount Eerie fan whatsoever, and I found out about this album when it came out, and I saw it got a 9 on Pitchfork, and it had a really nice write up, which is unusual nowadays for Pitchfork to do a good write up on a record. And I emailed it to my therapist, and I kind of just cataloged it in the back of my brain, and I was in no way, shape, or form ready at the time of its release to really delve into it or listen to it with any seriousness. And now that I have listened to it, I see it as a magnum opus. Definitely going to go down as his greatest record. I can see people listening to the record, 100 years from now, and relishing it and cherishing it. And I myself went through a traumatic experience. My mother was killed by a drunk driver when I was 8 years old, and I can definitely relate to the themes of grief, and losing a loved one, and some heavy stuff for a man to, with utmost sincerity, to have the bravery and the courage to compose a record about losing the love of his life, his wife. Just unbelievable artistry. Just like I said, it totally elevates the form. There's other guys out there right now that are doing the whole, kind of poetic stream of consciousness, almost like a condensed novel in the vocal track, when you have some beautiful melodic acoustics creating music. It's musical, yet it's more literary than what people are used to in music. They're used to hooks and simplistic lyrics, and like I said, this is an elevation. There's what I was trying to say is other people have done this before, like the guy from Red House Painters, Mark, Kozlik, and to mixed success. I'm not a huge fan of the Benji album that came out that he did. Um, but this guy Phil Elverum, who just married an A-list actress, Michelle Williams, he elevated the art form. I am I am totally impressed, totally guffawed. I am totally gobsmacked by this album. I am what a pleasant surprise. But the themes of the record, A Crow Looked at Me, are very unpleasant, and it's not something that most people write records about. And most people are focused on writing songs about. Everyone writes songs about everything, but these are not happy songs, and they're existential and they're transcendental, and they explore themes of loss, grieving, memory, nature of identity, of self, of, when my loved one dies, does this person still exist? Are they still with me? Very, very impressive analysis of the transmogrification of the memory of a loved one. How when a loved one is present in your life, you have a different perception of them when they're present and actionable in your life, and when they are no longer existent. What Phil Elverum was getting across in a couple songs was that the memory is what he has left, and the memory isn't the person, and it's a distortion of who the person was in some sense. And very beautiful, very meditative, very impressive, very literary. Like I said, an elevation of the songwriting craft, which is very impressive. I would say you haven't seen a real elevation of the craft since Elliott Smith. This is bringing the form into new direction, into new land, into new territory. Lewis and Clark, New Frontier, just a beautiful epoch for songwriting, songcraft, inspirational. I don't know how you could listen to this album and not want to do some kind of creative output yourself. I definitely am revitalized and not. I'm not necessarily at the stage in my life or at this moment where I'm creating myself. But I'm certainly going to look back on this moment and use some of what I've learned from his record "A Crow Looked on Me," and some of what I've learned from his "Only Now" record. And I will definitely bring that with me for the rest of my life, and I think part of it will probably influence some of my own output once I am in the stage of creating my own artistry. And maybe I'm not sure what that's going to look like, whether it's going to be poetry or prose or short fiction or songwriting, full band, whatever. But wow, Phil Elverum from the microphones in Mount Eerie, great job, great band, great sound, great record. Just blown away. I'm blown away that a mere mortal could compose something so wonderful and so human and so vital. And I'm hoping that I can have the strength one day to really have the fortitude to press forward in life and find a way to keep going and hopefully leave a mark on this earth that is well, I think what I learned from the record was everyone leaves a mark on this earth to the people that they know. to people that they breathe the same air as their family and loved ones. And so that's really all you can ask for, and anything else is vanity, I guess. But definitely a transformational experience, the listening to this record. Thank you for watching this review. Have a great night. Bye.